What do you think are the signs that someone is going through a hard time, or maybe through a burnout or to a stressful period?
The burnout is in the long term, is more chronic, and you can have symptoms, physical symptoms, emotional, behavioral. If I ask you, please, Steffi, do all your effort to don't think in a pink elephant.
I'm gonna think about a pink elephant.
Exactly. More we try to control our thoughts, more our thoughts enter into our mind. How to know when to start therapy? I think that there are different moments to know when you start therapy.
Do you think it's because of lack of self-esteem, or what do you think is the reason?
I think that could be very...
Where do you think people pleaser, where does this come from? How do someone become a people pleaser?
In general, the people pleaser comes from...
It can be difficult to stop overthinking. I know a few people that are overthinkers, and all of them, they are very kind and nice people. Maybe they overthink because they don't want to hurt others. Is there any way or any suggestions for other thinkers to stop overthinking? Welcome back.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I am doing okay. I am happy that we are going to do this second episode. Yes, and how are you?
I'm super happy. I'm happy to have you here with us. Thank you for your time.
I am enjoying doing that.
If someone would introduce you, what do you think they would say?
I think that a part of me, I like to be named that, oh, she's a psychologist. This aspect I really like, because I really put a lot of myself to study, for working on that, and when now here in another country doing all the qualifications. This is something that is, I know that you shouldn't say, oh, I am a psychologist, but I feel that is part of my identity. But then I like to be remembered, or like a person who has friends. I find that my friends are like my family, or I think like something like that. I believe that this, but it's very difficult, you're being a good psychologist. Come on, you're asking me questions like very. No. Yes, I think that yes, this maybe sometimes the citizen is true. Maybe it's part of my culture. Then what I like to do, what kind of food I like to eat. Yes, I don't know if this is answering your question or because it was tricky, I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, so if I would introduce you, I would say that you are someone very kind,
I thank you.
Respectful, beautiful.
I thank you.
A very good friend. You're very, you're like the sunshine. Really. So, what I would like to know is a little bit more about your work, your job.
Yeah.
So what do you do exactly?
Can I say something before?
Yeah, sure.
Today I was thinking a lot. I am an anxious person now, and I was thinking a lot, oh, why this person is not contacting me? And something is wrong on something. I am not doing okay. Maybe I am super demanding. And when you are saying this to me, the sensation is, wow, you perceive this about myself, but my perception of myself is more negative. And obviously I am a psychologist. I have been working a lot on my, awareness, insight. But this is something, how the negative how our inner speech is,
Yeah.
And then he just called me because, was my friend I was talking before. He said, sorry, I didn't contact you in all the week because I was so tired after a long trip. I really wanted to sleep. Now that I am feeling better, I am calling you, But in my mind, I was like a week thinking that not a week, maybe 2 days, and I was like trying to do all my techniques. And today was like, what happened? Nothing. I believe that maybe this could add for your podcast this reflection and if this helps or not.
Yeah, definitely. So I think most of the time we are very negative about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we think that someone is behaving a certain way because of us.
Yeah.
When in reality it has nothing to do with us.
Totally.
So I think sometimes what we should do when we are in a relationship with maybe a friend or colleague, if someone behaves badly towards us, the first thing is to ask what's going on with that person.
Yeah.
Maybe that person is going through a hard time and we don't know. Maybe that person just had a phone call and bad news. Or maybe they're just a bad person. But the first thing that I would suggest to do is to ask what's going on with that person. Is there anything that I can do to help or to make the situation better? And most importantly, communication.
For sure.
Communicate your feeling with that person. Oh, you did this and that and I felt that way.
Yeah.
Is that because I did something wrong, or are you going through something? So communication is very, very important and can help a lot.
And this was good because he was saying to me, like immediately, maybe because he knows me, kind of. And what you're saying is very interesting because one of the technique that we use in cognitive psychology is detect the alternative thought. The immediate thought is, I am the problem, this person doesn't like me anymore, or something. So we ask, okay, how much do you believe in this thought from 1 to 10? 10 a lot, 1 nothing. And what is an alternative or alternative thought that you can have? Okay, maybe he's tired, maybe he was working a lot, maybe different alternatives, and then check again. How much do you believe from 1 to 10 about this thought? So this is a technique. You were very right, very intuitive in your way, and has a name. Alternative thoughts.
Alternative thought. That's very interesting. Thank you for that. Yeah. So do you think, I'm pretty sure that this happened at work as well?
Yes.
That maybe our manager or the boss or even a colleague
for sure
comes and maybe one day scream at us out of nowhere and we're not used to it. And we think, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah.
What would you suggest us to do in this situation?
Yes, this is an example that happened a lot with my clients, myself, yourself. This is one of the techniques. Alternative thoughts. Check the facts is another. Try to check. It's another technique. Is about check your emotion is in concordance with the reality, and you do like different steps and try to check what is the worst case scenario. What evidence do you have? This is another. Check the evidence. Why this person is talking to me in this way? There is any evidence to think that I am the problem? Because, for example, I have a client that she's all the time thinking that they are going to fire her.
Okay.
No, the sensation that she's not good. She doesn't speak very well English. I don't think that she doesn't speak very well English. It's her perception. No. And what kind of evidence do you have? They are not giving you work to do. No. They are ignoring you. You are changing your position to another. Like this kind of strategy that people do when they want to fire you.
What are the strategies?
Like people, when they try to fire you, in my experience, I noticed that they stop giving you tasks, or they're giving you tasks very difficult. Both have the same objective, that is to reduce your motivation. Then another is start the micromanagement, or maybe the sensation of ignoring your emails, ignoring your requests. So in those cases, I'm going to say, okay, we can check. Maybe you have some kind of evidence. If you have some kind of evidence, we can start checking problem solving. What you're going to do if this is going to happen. Do you have any plan? Another job? Talk with your manager. But first is to check the evidence. And then another part of this technique that is check the fact from dialectical behavioral therapy is checking your wise mind. Is effective to act the emotion, yes or not? Because maybe it's true, you have the evidence, but how effective is to express your emotion? Maybe what the other person did to you make you feel anger, but it's effective to show, if maybe you are in front of a person who has more tendencies to manipulate the situation or change the topic or gaslight the person. It's effective to show anger? I believe that no. You are going to be more angry after the interaction. I am summarizing super the technique. It's like a session of, or 2 sessions of therapy, and you need to put in practice. But this is an example.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
And I'm curious to know if any psychologists go to therapy. Is that something common or not?
Well, in Argentina, it's very common. In general, we go. In France, I think that is the same. Here in Ireland, I am not quite sure. I know in psychotherapy, because you have the degree of psychology and the degree of psychotherapy. The degree of psychotherapy is an obligation to do 60 hours of therapy when you are doing your training, you're studying psychotherapy.
Okay.
So here is an obligation. If then they go or not, it's not an obligation per se.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I like going to therapy. Obviously, there are moments I go less or more.
Yeah.
Because, now I am in a good moment. So maybe I go once per month or every 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I like to organize, my things. But it's not an obligation, and you don't need to be in therapy all your life. It's the good part is like you can do therapy for 12 sessions, 6 sessions, focusing on your problem. And this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very good and very efficient.
Yeah.
There are a lot of research behind that. Going to therapy in my case is because it's something that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that it's useful for myself.
That makes sense. Do you think everyone should go to therapy, or only when we feel that the need? Or because sometimes we need it, but we don't know. So
how to know when to start therapy, no? Well, I think that there are different moments to know when you start therapy. First, when you are in a grieving moment and you are not able to deal in that moment. No, maybe it could be when you break up, you finish a relationship, someone die. Maybe when you change from you move to another country, another moment.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and not immediately you are going to you need to go to therapy, but maybe if in the first month you continue with these symptoms of maybe more feeling sad the majority of the days, sad, upset, low energy, you get frustrated quickly. It's a good moment to start checking, maybe when your appetite or when you are sleeping a lot or not so much. Yes, when it's affecting your daily activities, maybe because you are so anxious and you can't stop, or overthinking about everything, or hyper focus on something, or obsession like OCD. Yes.
What's OCD?
OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder, and is when you can have compulsions, for example, about contamination. You need to wash your hands very often. Yes, there are different ways that you can have OCD, but there are different things that you start feeling, or maybe when you start being disconnected from your typical life, around your friends, your performance at work decrease, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you see a negative change in your life or your behavior, these are signs that maybe you should start.
And when it's chronic, no? Because obviously we are going to have days that up and down. Yeah. But when this starts, it's like 2 weeks and a month, you start feeling in this way. Maybe it's better to double check, do an assessment, and I believe that we are our best. We know ourselves better than other person. Mm-hmm. And when you start feeling quite down, when you are not performing or you're not being yourself. Maybe you're not being yourself.
Yeah, so that's something that I personally have worked on a lot, to be able to identify when when things are going well around me, when I'm feeling good, and when I'm not. When I'm around people that are bringing the best out of me or the worst. So I try to be very selective with who I spend time with. But this is not what everyone does, because some people just like to be around people all the time. That's how they live. That's their life. Even if that person is not a good person or good influence, they still keep that person around. Yeah. Do you think it's because of lack of self-esteem, or what do you think is the reason?
I think that could be very specific of the person. I think that could be lack of self-esteem, could be an anxious attachment. and they don't feel comfortable without an interaction. They need the other people to feel safe. Could be because they can't listen to themselves and be around people shut up their own thoughts, their own feelings. No?
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's scary to really listen to yourself. No? Like, I am feeling this. I am not liking that. You know, like sometimes we want to shut up and say, no, I go with the flow, you know?
Yeah, so everything is fine. And don't even think about it. I don't want to, some people say I don't even want to think about or reflect on what's going on because maybe they're scared of what they're gonna discover. Yeah. So I think therapy is a good way to push people to self-reflect when they don't want to do it by themselves. I think it's a good way to do it.
Yes, and I think that is, when you asked me before, no, I believe that everyone should go to therapy. Myself, Natalia, I am going to say, I think that at least once you should have the experience. Obviously, it's my perspective. It's not like there is any evidence or I don't know if there is any research that says, yes, you should go once per year, once at least in your life.
Yeah.
It's my perception. Always is good to know a little more about yourself. And I think that all of us, we need to work on something.
We need to
work on something.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's how we improve in life. There's always something to learn, right?
Yeah.
I love reading self-development books.
Yeah.
And I love to read books about psychology to understand people more.
I saw that you have one of Kanahan.
Sometimes people behave in a certain way, and I ask my friends, why do you think they did that? Because sometimes I can't understand people's behavior when they behave wrongly. For example, if someone being jealous of someone, this is a feeling that I have never experienced in my life.
Yeah, I understand.
So I don't understand how can someone be happy because someone is in a bad situation. So I asked my friend, what do you think?
Or I'm happy they're in a good situation. No?
Yeah. So it's very surprising to me that some people will be jealous of someone else.
Jealousy is an emotion that for me is the same. I can't understand very well. Obviously, we all in some moment we experience some kind of jealousy. And no, at the levels of some, I always believe that if they grow, I am going to grow up. Like if I help someone to grow up, I am going to grow up at the end because those people are going to be grateful toward me. If they're not grateful, out of my life, no? But in general, I think that, I don't know, it doesn't make any benefit to be jealous.
So I can understand someone who's, let's say someone has an amazing car. And they don't have any car. They don't even have the driving license. And they're like, oh my God, that person has an amazing car.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see that car and I want the same. That can be an empowerment, right? To see it and to say, oh, envious, I would like to have
it's the positive aspect of the M.
Exactly. This, I understand. This is a feeling that I have. Sometimes I see some beautiful things and say, oh, I would like to have it. And my second thought is, what can I do to have it too? And not say, what can I do so that person doesn't have it? And I do have it, and
But this is very interesting because what you're saying is that all the emotions could be good or bad. Because being the envy could be a good emotion because could motivate you to say, "Oh, I want this." No, it's like when people say, I discuss this a lot with my clients about anger. No, anger is a bad emotion. It's not only a bad emotion being angry. You can be angry and could be an amazing emotion for setting boundaries, because if you can connect with the anger of a situation, that someone is doing something that makes you feel hurt, okay, so you can use the anger as a way of saying, no, I don't want to continue this relationship. I don't want to continue doing something. No, I want to say imagine that your manager is sending you emails at 10 p.m. and you are checking or you receive that. So you can try to delete this anger and, trying to control.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, and then you're going to exploit at the end in some way, or you're going to be against yourself with no self-care, no eating, or trying to answer very quickly. Or you can use this anger in a very healthy way on saying, sorry, Paul, I want to let you know that I am not going, I am only working until 6 p.m. So if you want to do something after that, I am going to answer next day from 10 a.m. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah.
So this is a good use of the anger.
I think it can be good if you know how to control it, right? If you know how to control it, you know how to, for example, what you said, you pause and you reply when you feel calm, right? Not on the in the moment. What do you see in the profile of people going to therapy? Some people don't go to therapy because they think they don't need it, or because they think it's not a good thing to be seen in therapy. What's the profile of people who go to therapy, but at the beginning they didn't want to go?
Yeah, in general, men they have more resistance to start therapy, and men who are more structured people, no? In general, they tend to say, I don't want to talk about my past. I don't want to talk a lot. I don't want to feel touchy, no? And in general, what happened then, because this therapy is more focused on exercise, like learnings, they really like going. They say, oh, I am learning how to regulate my emotions. I am learning to accept the reality, no? And those kind of people in general are the people who more do the homework.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Okay. In general, men are the people who, men who are more structured are the people who more do homework. Mm-hmm. And I believe that at the same time, it's something that when they start feeling that someone could help them or they can get some kind of validation about their emotions, they start liking this sensation of, thank you, I understand it, yes. Mm. The sensation that nobody is going to judge them. Yeah. For what they're now feeling, thinking. Yes. Mm. I remember one client, he called me, I did something very bad. I never wanted to do therapy, but I was expecting the worst. This person was cheating on the partner for long time. And he has been working on himself now and trying to understand why it was happening. Mm. All his past experiences, maybe this cheating is because of trying to find validation from other people. Well, it's more complex. I don't want to talk a lot about that because it's and this person is one of the person who more enjoy, I could say, therapy,
Yeah, I know that some people behave badly at home because they had a bad day at work, for example, or the opposite. They behave very wrongly towards their colleagues because at home they just had a fight with their partner, for example. So, what do you think are the signs that someone is going through a hard time, or maybe to a burnout, or to a stressful period?
Okay, so burnout is something that is very chronic. Yes, stress is in a moment, maybe because the environment is asking to you, is more than you can absorb or you can perform. So immediately you stop having this uncomfortable thing, you can come back to your normal self. So this is a stressful situation. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can recover quickly. Okay. Yes, something in a short moment, short term. The burnout is in the long term, is more chronic, and you can have symptoms, physical symptoms, emotional, behavioral. So, for example, physical, stomachache. I remember one of my first works I was feeling for 2 years, 3 years.
Yes.
Yes, I was with stomachache. Yes, I don't IBS. In the intestine. And I was taking, especially before one meeting with one of was a boss that everyone was very scared of him. I managed very well because I could manage very well, but I was 23 years old. I was 22 to 23. I was very young. Yes. And I was taking all the time, meds for the stomachache. I went to the gastroenterologist, everyone. And now it was like, no, it's more stress, no? And when I got my scholarship, my PhD scholarship, immediately I moved to my new shop. No more. So physical symptoms, yes, like could be stomachache, start losing the hair.
Oh my God,
Yes, these kind of things.
Yes.
Then you can have emotional symptoms like start feeling sad the majority of the time. Yes, behavioral symptoms maybe increase the consumption of alcohol, coffee, maybe
Cigarettes.
drugs, cigarettes. Isolate yourself from people. You start being quite cynic, no? And this happens sometimes people who work in health, because we are all the time trying to be kind and there are so many reports of this burnout that then, you know, they I remember some clients saying to me, I arrive home and I can't be empathetic like at work, no? And I start being quite cynical to my partner, to my kids, no? Yes. So these are the difference between burnout and stress.
Okay. And so how can we prevent burnout?
Well, first is start checking if the place where you are being is the safe space. In my case, when I am talking about this work, not was a safe space, was triggering me, not only because the work was triggering, because it was triggering some things from my past. No, there are some words that start triggering, you know, like your sensation that you need to perform very well, you know, some personalities. So first, I believe that is being in a safe space. Obviously, works are going to be challenging, and this is very important because if not, it's very boring. But try to be in a safe space. This is very important. I know that it's not the same to work in Ireland when you have more possibilities than when you are in a Latin country or African country. Well, I don't know the situation in Africa, but I'm going to talk about Latin America. It's true that in South America, sometimes you need to accept the work and you don't have other options. And this is stuff.
Yeah, I think even in Europe or in the United, anywhere in the world, I think some people are in a space where they think they cannot change the job. They have to be there, and they go through very bad moments in their life because they are not in a safe space at work.
Yes.
So I think it's important to tell these people that there's options.
Yeah.
Not always, but it's important to try to identify the different options. And if you think there's no option at all, try to share your situation with other people, and maybe these people will help you find options.
Sometimes I think that if even the investment that you were putting on this position, the sensation that now I am going to live with all the years I was working in this company, the ego, I am this person, I am in this company, and even the benefits, the external benefits. It's not the same to say I work in, I don't want to say companies now, but you say I work in this company and immediately, you're there. But maybe you're having a horrible moment in your life. And how you're going to be able to say, I want to quit. I want to reorganize my career. So there are different factors. I find that it's quite difficult to say, is this? Because I think that there are so many factors that could affect, but I think that safer space is very important. Work in our ego, and as you said, talk with people and try to think alternative solutions for your problem,
And so in terms of stress, how do you think people can manage stress effectively?
To care of yourself, like if it's good for you to do a sport, this is important, or a walk. Separate work and your life. Maybe you are checking all the time the emails or overthinking. There is one another thing that is very good is problem solving, that you can write down all your fears or your worries and check which of them are real or are important, and you can manage, you can find a solution, and how then maybe they can be real but you can't find a solution. Okay, so for example, what would that be? For example, I am worried if Ireland could crash in the next 10 years. Maybe it could be yes or not, we don't know, But being worried about something that is going to happen in 10 years and you don't have control, because the only people who can have control of that are the politicians. And even maybe they don't have control even about the situation. So this is not something that is occupying space in your mind and energy. You're taking a lot of energy of overthinking about that. Yeah. Instead of, I am worried because I need to finish this task for Tuesday and I was spending all the week seeing for my new house. No? So, okay, you can solve the problem. So, in this case, it's problem solving. But what you are going to do with this that you don't have any kind of control is the worry time. The worry time is you are going to set a moment per day to be worried only 20 minutes per day.
How can you do that?
And this is, okay, if I ask you, please, Steffi, do all your efforts, but do all your efforts to don't think in a pink elephant.
I'm going to think about a pink elephant right
exactly.
now.
More we try to control our thoughts, more our thoughts enter into our mind. Yes. So what we are going to do is control the time we are going to be worried. Okay, so you're going to write down in your phone, in a paper, when these thoughts appear that you can't control. Say, okay, this is a problem for 6 to 6:20 p.m. No before going to sleep, because it's going to be more difficult to go to sleep. Spoiler alert, in general, when you try to do that, then, because you are postponing and you're saying, okay, then, for 6 to 6:20 p.m., you are not going to do that. You forget, you forget. In general, not always, but in general. And then another that is very important is to practice mindfulness. As more as you can to be in the present moment, less chances you have to overthink.
That's true.
Yeah. True. So this is something that you can practice with guided meditations. That is the most common, maybe. But there are other options. You can practice mindfulness in an active role. For example, doing a sport, playing a sport, talking with people, and focus on this is a conversation. Yes. And observation. Yes. Only observing. Like maybe dogs playing in the park, and you only focus on that. When you can observe your breath and coming back to your breath instead of, going ruminating, going through to your thoughts.
It can be difficult to stop overthinking. I know a few people that are overthinkers, and all of them, they are very kind and nice people. Maybe they overthink because they don't want to hurt others. Is there any way or any suggestions for other thinkers to stop overthinking?
I think that this is a very interesting topic because it's very tricky what you're saying. I remember I called one of my supervisors and I say, why this is happening to me, or something that happened with some situation, no? And he said, because part of the good part is like, because you overthink, or maybe you try to be aware about other people's feelings. Exactly, you're going to have this kind of frustration, but at the same time, you are easier for other people. And this is the problem, no? Because when you are a people pleaser, you are easier. You have less problem with yourself, but you have less problem because it's easy to be around you. You're going to adapt yourself. Yes, you're going to say yes when even you don't want to say yes. Then the resentment, how you try to control how people perceive you, no? But it's true that it's easy to be around. At the beginning, at least it's easy. And to discuss people, that's something that I work a lot with my clients. We're going to start discussing people, no? Say no. Or say I don't agree with your opinion, no? It's another way. But how you can do with overthinkers, yes. First, understand that 50% of the people are going to like you, 50% of the people are going to dislike you.
And it's okay.
It's okay, and we can't control. So for the worry time, because we don't have control of that. Yes, and this is part of life, no?
Yeah.
And maybe when let's start controlling that, you're being more authentic, transparent. Maybe 70% of people are going to like you and 30% of people are going to dislike you, because at the end you're being more yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, be yourself.
So if you're an overthinker, just be yourself.
No, I believe that no, it's not only that. It depends. This is more for the social anxiety, If you're overthinking, if your house is going to be burn because you need to double check so many times if you are closing the gas or something like that. Well, this is another thing. No, the overthinking is there are some genetic predisposition.
Oh yes.
Yes, for the anxiety, there are genetic predisposition. Environment, yes. If you grow up in an environment when some of your parents were anxious people, you learn about that. Yes. And then traumatic experiences in the past. Now people who suffer bullying, obviously they are going to be more overthinker. Yes, about social aspects, no? So you can change the situation, the thought from the thought, change the content and say, okay, my thought is, I feel that this person rejects me. Okay, maybe with alternative thoughts. Yes, what I explained before. Or you can change through the emotion. The emotion is sadness. So we can start changing the emotion and we can do exercise of opposite action, yes. Or we can do in the behavioral aspect. Yes, if you are going to recheck, are you still loving me? Are you still loving me? Yes. This is not going to be functional because this triangle is going to reinforce. So something that we can do is postpone this behavior. Okay, you're not going to check that and live for the next 30 minutes. Or maybe you're going to write down or do some mindfulness exercise, mindfulness writing, yes. So it depends the case, but you can change a situation from the cognition, the emotion, and the behavior. And if you change one of them, you're going to change the other areas.
That becomes very mathematical.
Okay, so this is the cognitive triangle.
When they start overthinking, what you suggest is to practice mindfulness? Yes,
they can do mindfulness writing. They can find in internet, so for example, my mind is full of, and write down everything that is in your mind. This is a way to like Dumbledore. I always say like Dumbledore from Harry Potter to take all the thoughts out and put in the pensaderis. Yes, I don't know what is the name in English, but there is pensaderis. This is one exercise. The other is another technique that is the stop. Not now. You can do this. Yes, now.
It's controlling the thought.
Yes, or say no now. And the worry time. And you can say, this is for 6:20 p.m. You can write down, put in your box, and you're going to be only worried from 6 to 6:20 p.m. or in the hour that you want, but not before going to sleep. Then another ways to do that is, let me think. You can do mindfulness or mindfulness, exercise, alternative thoughts, practice alternative thought. What are the alternatives to this thought? No.
For example, let's say that someone is overthinking. They're going to an interview. They have an interview the next day, and they're overthinking it, thinking, "Oh, I should say this. I shouldn't say that. Oh, I'm scared. Maybe I won't do it well." So, what should I do in that situation, for example?
Well, so sometimes what we do is ask, "What is the worst case scenario?" So what is the worst case scenario? You go to the interview and you perform not okay. What do you think?
They won't call you back.
Okay, so this is the worst case scenario. We agree that it's not nice, but it's not it's not very risky, it's not nice. Nobody wants to feel this rejection like Mateo was talking before, no? Well, so this is the first step, to understand the worst case scenario. And then is do alternative thoughts. Why? If they don't call you back, it's because you are not a good candidate. It's because maybe they have already another person. This happened a lot. They have already another person, but they need to do interviews anyway because it's part of the politics of the company. But this happened a lot. Maybe you don't have all the skills right now, but they already know you and they can call you
later.
Another time, no?
Yeah, I think not everyone is aware of that sometimes it's just not the right time, and that maybe in the future they still have your details, your contact details, so they still can call you back later. So
Yeah.
some people don't think about that, and I take advantage to motivate people who got rejected a lot,
Yeah.
applying a lot and got rejected, to keep applying,
Yeah.
because maybe they will call them back when they're least expected.
For sure. Or another option, another exercise is to do the find the silver linings of a situation.
What's that?
So is a situation, for example, you do the interview, they say no. Try to find 3 silver linings of the situation, 3 ways to see the bright side of that. For example, one thing could be, I had experience of an interview in this company. I know for next time or for other companies, this could be the first one. The second could be, they invite me to a lunch for doing the interview and I get a free lunch. And the third one could be, 10 years from now, I am not going to remember this situation. And this is interesting because sometimes we are focused on this is the worst moment of our, and could be like this, a rejection at work, could be something has been broken in your house and it's like, this is the worst that could happen to me. And then it's like, 10 years from now, you're not going to remember.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So what do you think about overthinking? So for me, I think that the more we think badly about something, the more probability it can happen. So for example, let's say that someone is scared to miss the train or their flight. They are scared to miss their flight for 5 days or maybe 5 months. They are always thinking, oh, I have to take this flight. If I miss it, it's the worst that can happen. And they have been thinking about that for months. And when the time arrives, they miss that flight.
I don't know. I am not sure because sometimes we overestimate our thoughts and we remember those situations. We act in concordance with our negative thoughts. So this is called thought diffusion. The idea that our thought creates what is going to happen. Could be, could not be. You understand? Like it's more like we overestimate. Maybe you never miss your train for a year and this time you miss it and you're going to say, oh, I created. Yes. Or I was right. So this is something that it's tricky. It's true that people are going to think I am weird. People are going to think maybe that what will happen is you start acting to confirm your hypothesis, no? More in an unconscious way, no? Or you're around people who can judge you more and you're trying to show you're trying to get validation from people who are more gossipy, I don't know, like more, you know, and maybe you are putting yourself in tricky situations. No, maybe you are selecting a train very close to, I don't know, very close to another train, and the probabilities are very high. No.
So we cannot do anything about that. Like if we have bad thought, basically, it doesn't mean that it will necessarily happen. We just have to know how to manage this thought, right? How to take power over them.
Or check the evidence. Do you have any evidence that you're going to miss the train? Maybe you never heard the alarm. Well, you have some points for the possibilities to miss the train, no? But check the evidence, because this happens a lot in OCD, no? The sensation that I am going to create something. Yes, if I don't do this, something bad is going to happen. Yes, and this is a problem of OCD. I remember one of my best friends, she was suffering a lot with OCD. She's much better. But one of the things she was like, no, I am, my colleagues are going to think I am using the resources in a bad way. And there were some flyers they needed to give to the clients or the patients. She works in a hospital. And she was writing some notes in these flyers. And one of the colleagues went and said, why are you doing that? You know that these are the flyers. So she was creating the situation to confirm her hypothesis that they are going to think that, I know, she's a bad hard worker, co-worker or whatever, no? So this happens sometimes with this sensation of self-diffusion, no? Or you create something to confirm her hypothesis, or the idea that you overestimate your thoughts. You understand the OCD, people overestimate the thoughts, and thoughts are thoughts. We all have intrusive thoughts in our minds.
Yeah, everyone, every
all the
single one of
time.
us, yeah.
What happened if I break right now this wine? Like this could be an intrusive thought. But in general, we ignore this intrusive thought. The overthinker are more focused or fixated to this intrusive thought.
Yeah, that's something very common, unfortunately. And I think that maybe people pleaser are more in a position to overthink and to burn out as well, because they will say yes to everything, to a lot of things. Where do you think people pleaser, where does this come from? How do someone become a people pleaser? Or what
in general, the people pleaser comes from experience in the first moment of their life. In general, this could happen maybe more in women because the society, was creating us, or how society teaches us how we should behave. But in general, come from families where the attachment not was safe. You needed to please people, please your parents, yes, because if not, you were going to be rejected or negative experiences. So there is a book, it's in Spanish, I don't know if it's in English, I know that it's in other languages right now, I saw in Croatian, and in Portuguese, that is El Síndrome de la Niña Buena, the syndrome of the good girl. And I use one exercise with my clients that is, first describe your parents' behavior characteristics, and then write down what your father likes or dislikes about you, and what your mother likes and dislikes about you. And in terms of that, how you feel with those things that they don't like about you and the things that they like about you. For example, if they like that you are very kind, this can reinforce your behavior to be more empathetic and kind, and accept things that you shouldn't. Or maybe they say that you are quite intense, you start internalizing that you are intense, and you're broken inside of you, and no. So, and you are rejecting this part of yourself that is part of you, and you can, maybe it's a nice part of you at the same time, no? So this is very nice, an interesting book. If they can find in English, I don't know. It's a Spanish.
Portuguese.
It's yes, because it's a Spanish psychologist.
Okay.
I don't remember now the name, but it's the syndrome of the good care. Yes.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So basically, people pleasing starts from childhood.
Yes.
Okay, and so at work, I think it's possible to identify people pleaser.
Yeah.
If we are working with a people pleaser and we see that that person is starting to burn out or to be very stressed, what do you recommend us to do?
Yeah, this is a very nice question, because in general, people, it's true that people pleaser are going to attract people who can exploit them, no?
Yes.
But it's true that when you have good feelings inside you and you notice that, that this is not going to be good for them and even for you, because you want to have an honest relationship, I imagine.
Yeah.
So you can maybe create a safe space for this person. If you don't feel comfortable, you can say me, no, right now, we can do next week. No. I believe that the safest space, as most you can create this safe space for them, they are going to be more authentic and they can be the real self.
Yeah. So what are the kind of exercises that we can do at work, at school, or in the bus, for example, to feel better?
For regulating your emotions?
Yeah.
Okay, so for regulating your emotions, if you feel dysregulated, you can't be in that place, or you need to do a talk in front of people. No?
Yeah.
You can do one exercise that is the smile of the Mona Lisa. You know the paint of the Mona Lisa that is in the Louvre?
Yeah. Okay.
That is very famous, but when you are there, it's very small. You know, like what? So with the Mona Lisa is like it's a half smile. So you can be doing the half smile. Nobody's going to notice you.
Half of a smile? The whole...
Yes, you know, like the Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa
okay,
is
the
not,
same smile as
because the Mona Lisa is not like...
Yeah.
You can do even that. Why? Because there are studies that they were putting people, stressed people with cold water, with ice, and they were stressing people because you are with cold water, you start with stress, and they were putting like a pen in their mouth, and they were asking them to do different styles of a smile. As bigger is a smile, better is to regulate yourself, but you can do the half smile. What happens when you are smiling? And I am going to ask all of you to smile. Immediately you start smiling, you are cheating your brain, and you start feeling that you are smiling. I remember once I broke up with an ex-boyfriend. Well, he broke up with me, so I was more sad. And I was for weeks crying, you know, I was in the street crying. I say, stop. You should stop. I was saying to myself. So I started to smile with the drops, with the tears, the drop of the tears here, and I was smiling, and I was changing the emotion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So remember that you can change your soul, you can change your emotion, you can, yes. So this is a way that you can regulate your emotions. Then there is another exercise that is to breathe with the 5 fingers. So you are, I know, at work, in the school, you can put your hands over the desk, and with a pen or pencil, nobody's going to notice. You can, when you are going up, you inhale. When you are down, you exhale. You're going to do this in your own way, and this is going to calm down your system. Yeah. It's in your own way. Yeah, so go up, inhale, go up, exhale, and the same. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what about when we start feeling stress in our body, in the belly, for example?
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can do?
Well, with the belly, for example, there are other techniques. That is the technique of Jacobson, is the relaxation, muscular relaxation, progressive muscular relaxation, that you tense different parts of the body and then you relax. So, for example, you can tense your wrist for 7 seconds, and then you're going to relax for 7 seconds. And you can do this in different parts of your body. You're going to do in your belly. The idea is to do all complete, but maybe you don't have time and you want to do, you can put all your air like a balloon in your belly, and then you're going to take all the air out for 7 seconds. Yeah, this is another way to, this is a good exercise, very old exercise in the 70s, I believe was this, the evidence of when this started and there was evaluated and helped to reduce, to manage stress.
Okay, so that, I think that's very good because we can apply it anywhere. For example, if we are going to an interview, before the interview we are always stressed, right?
Yeah.
Or if we are presenting a very important presentation at work, we can do that before the meeting. In many circumstances we can apply. I like a lot the fingers, the smile. You can be in front of the door before the interview, and you can smile.
Exactly.
Yeah, so those are very great examples of exercise.
Obviously, you're going to smile when they're giving you a bad answer. Try to not be out of the situation, no? But a smile, the good part of the smile of the Mona Lisa is like, it's quite small, no?
Yeah, but you do that after.
You can do in the moment. Obviously, you are.
That will be strange. That will be like a creepy.
It depends. If you are in a like maybe in a conference, you can be like. But if they are talking about a bad review and you are like, or like, no, yes, it's true. But you can maybe do the half, like, because it's true that if you start being like super serious, moving your hands, or you are going to feel more stress.
Yeah.
So maybe another is to open your hands. Yes, unwilling hands, and maybe do this or manage. So this is very important to practice before. You want to practice all these kind of things in the moment. It's like you want to run a marathon and you never run 100 meters. No.
Yeah.
Yes. So something that they can do is to look in YouTube. It's full of videos about progressive muscular relaxation. Yes. This takes 10 minutes approx, and they can practice before. Audio, yes. And this is a very good exercise.
Yeah, I think that's very good. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Nati. And so what would you say, the last thing that you would say for someone who is scared to go to therapy or think that is not needed?
Okay, I think that the first is not be scared, because you're going to find people who wants to help you and are going to be empathetic. If you don't feel that you resonate with the person, look for another. Yes, try to do a good research before going to therapy. A psychologist who is regulated by the Society of Psychology for each country. Yes. With background and evidence that you can really trust, no? Or maybe a therapy. Today I was explaining techniques about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, and mindfulness. These are the therapies with more scientific evidence. Yeah, so I think that these are the rules, and trust on the process, and do the homework, put in practice, and enjoy it, because then I think that at least the majority of the people who are more resistant, they are now the best practitioners of the psychology in their own life.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.